Okay, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company, formerly Studio 120, now Catalyst and Company, where we're trying to be catalysts in each other's lives and lift each other up sort of best we can, and catalysts in our own lives. Catalysts to reach the goals that we want to reach and become the artists we want to be. Whatever that means to you, I know what it means to me, but it's usually deemed as a little odd. So, or whatever. Anyway, in the last video we talked about Neo Megilp, and we're going to talk about it again today because I'm going heavily into my oils with Neo Megilp. You may or may not know, I start off all my paintings with black and white gesso. On top of that, there's a coat of aerosol or aerosol shapes, colors, designs thrown in, and then I start to go over them, over the aerosol and in the black and white gesso using oil colors and mineral spirits. Now that combination leaves a really flat look. It's very dry, let's put it that way. It's a very dry look, and I have it throughout this particular painting. You may be able to see it reflected in the camera, I'm not sure, in lighting. But this is all mineral spirits and oils. This is all aerosol. So I'm getting a couple of different effects. But to build on and accentuate the dryness, my next layer is oil colors mixed with Neo Megilp. Okay, that's going on the floor. Oil colors mixed with Neo Megilp. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. Neo Megilp, if you don't know, is made by a company called Gamblin' Artist Colors. Gamblin' Artist Colors, and there's usually a link down below. I love this stuff. I've been using it for 15 or 20 years. Before that, I was using linseed oil, mineral spirits, Damar varnish, a traditional master's mix. And I went to my local art supply store in Orleans, Cape Cod Photo and Art, in Orleans, Massachusetts. And the salesman at the time, excuse me, I gotta use my hands to talk. And to think. The cashier at the time, or the customer service kid at the time, we were talking about that master's mix, linseed oil, Damar varnish, mineral spirits, and how it was affecting my paint. They were yellowing, the colors were yellowing pretty quickly, sometimes within a few months, sometimes within a couple years, but I didn't like it. I love the smell of it. I think it should be a perfume and a deodorant, but mixing it with oils was not doing me any good. So he said it was not benefiting me in any way. It was harming the color. So he said, have you tried this? And he handed me a bottle of Neo Megilp. And that has been, I went home, I tried it, it started to transform the way I used paint, saw paint, interacted with my paints, and then morphed into how I was using oil paint with other materials. So it's really transformed my artwork and my way of thinking about painting. And that's why I recommend it so much. I get no benefits from telling you. I get none. I don't get paid. I don't get free materials. I don't even get samples. I used to. I had a manager at the company who saw some of my videos, and the owner of the company saw some of my videos, and so they would send me little sample kits. And I would turn around and be like, I got money. Then I had money. So I was like, I'll give it to other artists and, invite other artists to try this out, because this stuff is phenomenal. The colors, the paints are luscious, and this medium, that you make, it has absolutely transformed me, and I wanted other people to enjoy it as well, learn about it and enjoy it as well. There was this thing a few years later, a couple of years ago, I was totally out of money, but I need to continue painting. It's not I want, I have to. I physically, emotionally, mentally have to keep painting, because it's the only reason I'm here. So I was totally broke, out of work, and I wrote the company in desperation. I said, would you mind sending me a sample kit, like you used to? And I wrote their customer service or somebody about it, just asking, can you send a sample kit? It's something you used to do when I shared it with other artists. I got the snarkiest, snottiest, most condescending email back telling me that, we don't give out free product to artists. So I wrote back and I said, well, Robert has been following me online for a while, and so the one of the other managers of the company actually has been following me for quite a while, and they used to send me sample kits, and I talk about you guys on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook and everything. And I said I used to share them with other artists because I didn't need any help. I didn't need the product. I could go buy it myself very easily. I said, so sorry to have bothered you. Send. Got another snarky one back. We are going to have a meeting about this. Okay. So I got a third email back saying that they were giving me a gift certificate for $200 in gambling products, but don't ever ask again. So this company that I revered and loved and told everyone about really kicked me to the curb and was really snotty and rude and mean. Just terribly, terribly mean. So I went from being a super fan to, okay, I like this stuff, but now I don't like the people. It's a small company. They have 25 employees. I thought they were like the bee's knees, the beginning and end all. But that particular interaction has really, really soured me and tainted my view of the entire company. If they don't see their artists, their customers as of value, especially in the artist's time of need, then they're not a company I really would want to be aligned with anyway. I do continue to buy their paints. I love their paints. I love that they're a small company. I love Neo Megilp. The product they have produced is unbelievable, but I'm not like, they're the greatest company in the world. They're actually apparently not, and they don't like the people who use their products all that much or want to support them. So to them. And but I do continue to buy Neo Megilp when I can, and gambling products. So I did get the $200 gift certificate. Sorry, long story. I knew that even though I had no money, and I had absolutely no money. I didn't even have money for food. My life was really frozen and on hold. I never used it. I wrote back and I said, although I sort of appreciate the gift certificate, based on the way you're treating me, I won't use it. And I probably won't recommend your products again, but here I am doing that. Anyway, we're going to move on now to something. I am applying that. Oh my God, my head. I am applying the Neo Megilp today. I'm in one of the final stages of painting, of my paintings, where I've got the bulk of the work done. I've done the oil mixed with mineral spirits. I'm using the Gamblin to surround and highlight this 8-foot high figure that I've now built with Neo Megilp and oil. Now, because Neo Megilp is a petroleum-based product, there is a real sheen to it. But that's also what allows me to use different materials. That petroleum-based product, that is supposed to be, that really is kind of sinful and awful. It allows me to apply it to the aerosol. And this is something I've talked about for a long time. Neo Megilp itself allows me to apply it to the aerosol. And what happens is the oils go down to the aerosol color, but it allows light in and light to bounce back out. So those colors where I apply Neo Megilp onto the oil that is now on the aerosol, that is on the black and white gesso, they get a glow. But that glow does not happen with one layer of Neo Megilp and oil mixed together. I want you to keep that in mind. It's not the first layer. It is several layers later. What we're looking at right now is me painting like Shrek using my, the medium and oil mix with a very fat brush that is leaving behind these big, fat, bulky, kind of awkward brush strokes. But over time, over several different layers, everything's going to tighten up and sharpen up as I move along. I'm going to show you something. I want to show you something. I'm mixing, I don't know what color this is. It's a purpley color. And I've already added, whoops, that's going to be bulky. I've already added at least 5 layers to each of these little flowers. At least 7 layers to these flourishes. There's aerosol, aerosol oil with mineral spirits, oil now mixed with Neo Megilp in several different layers. So we've got 6 or 7 different layers on each of these flourishes, already on these little flowers. But I'm going back in and over and over and over again. So we get that really beautiful glow that makes me love Neo Megilp no matter how much I hate the customer service lady. Yeah, they had to have a meeting about whether they could send out one tiny little sample kit. I don't think I've ever been that rude to somebody who's asked for help. So that perplexed me and angered me for a very long time. A couple of years, I think. Because I do hold a grudge. So as you can see, I'm surrounding, or hopefully you can see, I'm surrounding the flowers with this purpley color, whatever it is. I'm surrounding the shapes with a dark layer or dark line of this purpley color mixed with the Neo Megilp. And that's the beginning of defining. Because even though I have, I don't know, 3 to 5 layers of color on each of these little flowers and 5 to 7 layers on each of these little flourishes throughout the canvas, they're still not clear. They're still not vibrating right off the canvas. So I keep doing this in different shades of the colors that I've chosen, all different shades, light shades, dark shades, till I get that very clear, sharp image. You might be able to see it on this flower a little bit better, yeah, because there is such a difference between this mixture of whatever purple this is, and I think I used Radiant Blue, Gamblin's Radiant Blue, mixed with the purple in there, so you can see it. Now this lends itself to something else, and I did allude to it a minute ago, but I'm going to repeat myself, as I often do. Because I get very Rain Man-y, but I also forget stuff. So look at that. Look at how bright that is, or dark. But it's framing the shape, however you want to define it. It is framing. It's framing the shape. And that is part of my final stages in each of my paintings, is framing the shapes. So I'm going in right now, and I'm going to keep it consistent by going through and framing each of the purple flowers. Then I'll go through again and lighten and darken the purple flowers. There will be several more layers that are going on each of these little flowers. Then I'll be going in, around, over, and on these teal shapes, these teal flowers and leaves, and doing the same thing. Now I'm only using the Neo Megilp in the flourishes and in the background to help frame the dry mineral spirits and oil combination I've used on the figure. And that makes the figure, actually, it frames the figure. It makes the figure pop just a little bit in this extraordinary way. The wet and glossiness of the surrounding shapes and colors makes the really flat and dry figure pop and take on a whole new dimension. And that's why I do it. It's really kind of screws with your head. It also takes your eye, and I'm not going to set up the canvas for you to see this now, but it takes your eye when you're physically in the room with the painting. Your eye is focused on the figure because that's what we're supposed to look at most. We know in our head we are supposed to be looking at the figure. That's the most important thing in the world, is that little figure at the center, or whatever the subject is. But because there is a contrast in materials and ideas and styles and application and processes of mediums or process of the oils, your eye can't help it. Your eye can't help but go from the figure, which we are supposed to see. It is the central part. It is the most important thing in the whole world on this canvas, over to the sides. So your mind gets kind of split, and it really screws with your head, and I love it. That's what brings out the adventure and the fun and the joy of painting for me. It's screwing with your head. So even in this bicycle, I have points that are Neo Megilp and oil, wet oil, that glossy look, that petroleum glossy look, right up against the dry. So we've got aerosol down here up against flat or dry titanium white over the top, next to this really glossy, not black, but Payne's gray line. Payne's gray everywhere. And then there are certain places where I have gone in with lamp black. So we've got lots of contrasting layers and colors. Next to these big fat Shrek-like paint strokes, giving a petroleum glow. This is where I get all Rain Man-y. Got to paint another layer. Got to paint that in. Don't want to forget. Ooh, excuse me. Now I actually just did this morning with these green shapes, which I'm not sure how much you can see. I think you can only see one here, 1, 2. I've already framed them, and I've already gone in and I framed them with a forest green color, whatever that is. Apparently I didn't frame that one, but I framed most of them. I might as well do that now. Whatever earthy, olivey, forest greeny color this is. Framed them, put a little piece in the center right there, or to the side of that leaf, just to break up the shape. And that again is Neo Megilp and oil. And while I'm waiting for that, while I'm waiting for those to kind of stiffen up, not dry, but stiffen up, I'm going through the purple again. I'm going through the purple. All the purple flowers on the 2 canvases that make up this 8-foot high painting. So that's what I'm doing. I've actually already done the oranges too. I've got 3 different, oh my God, there's so many layers in these little dots. They look inconsequential, but they're helping your eye to pull away from the figure, but then also to focus on the figure as well. It's kind of screwy what I do. But I've got a mix of Indian yellow, some cheapy orange, and then Gamblin permanent orange, mixed together or separated, depending on the dot and how I was feeling that second that I filled it in. What else did I use? I think I used a yellow ochre, or it was mustardy yellow, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing this and try and focus on the purple flowers instead of doing what I just did. Oh, I think I'll wipe my brush off right there and getting involved in another shape and color. All right, so that's my thing on Neo Megilp. I'm honestly not, I think I mentioned it. If you buy Neo Megilp, even though it's, if you buy Neo Megilp, remember that, I think I did mention this, Air is the enemy to Neo Megilp. So you're going to want to take the bottle, don't lose the top, which I already have. Screw the top back on, take the bottle, turn it upside down, and smack it down so you don't end up with a layer of dried out Neo Megilp that you then can't use after spending $25 or so on the bottle. Make sure you get every ounce out. I'm a very cheap bastard, so that is my cheap bastard helpful hint. Oh my God, I can't stop. All right, I'm going to put a podcast back on and do this because I have to. All right, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company. If you'd like to help support Catalyst and Company, the links are down below. The link tree to all my social media is down below, but also there are links to my Cash App and PayPal if you'd like to send a tip. Buy me a cup of coffee. That would be fantastic. Artists can't live without coffee. Or if you'd like to provide monthly support starts at $5 a month and you get little rewards for it on Patreon. The link for that is down below, as well as a couple of others. All right, I'm going to go because blah, 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 my head. All right, ciao. Ready, Carrie? And Carrie, thank you for your support. Linda, thank you for your support. Everyone, thank you for your support. Everyone who's helped out, I really appreciate it. I am humbled. I am humbled, but I really deeply appreciate it. All right, ready? Here we go, Carrie. Ciao. Ciao. Hi, Stacy. I still have your painting. I just remembered. Sorry about that. We'll chat. Because, yeah. Anyway, ready? Ciao. Ciao. Meow, meow, meow. Boink.